do animation reviews here on the Rotoscopers, and I guess this next book technically is animation. It's just an animated video game, which is animation, so I feel totally cool doing this review. I am reviewing The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia. Okay, don't be a crazy Zelda nerd. Don't be a crazy Zelda nerd. It's beautiful. It's Link green. Are you kidding me? Hey guys, I'm Morgan Stradling with the Rotoscopers, and I'm really excited to review the Hyrule Historia today. I'm a big Zelda nerd. It's basically the best video game series of all time, and I love it. And I didn't even know this book existed until I got it as a Christmas present from my awesome brother. Love you, Steven. Awesome. The Hyrule Historia was released in January 2013. It was actually put together in Japanese originally for the 25th anniversary of Zelda, which was actually in 2011. So it took a few years for them to translate it and get everything up to speed. So the Hyrule Historia is really fantastic. It contains art from 25 years of Zelda games. Some significantly less than others, because back in the 1980s, I don't think they documented some of this production art as well as they do nowadays. For example, the Ocarina of Time, which was, made in the mid-90s, there are 6 pages of concept art. 6! That is the best video game of all time. Why are there only 6? So that's kind of a disappointment, because I would have wanted to just read and read and read. But so the actual book is very thick. It has 239 pages. Plus at the end there is a manga that you can read a few pages of The Legend of Zelda, which is pretty neat and cool. So you get, anything Zelda is awesome. So more Zelda, good. So the book is divided into about 3 sections. The first section, which is by far the largest, 100 plus pages, is devoted all to the art of their newest Zelda game at the time, which was Skyward Sword. And so we get to see very, very in-depth detail, like you would see from an art book of a movie, about the characters and different versions of the characters and the clothing and the animals and the scenes and the architecture. They could have taken that chunk alone and just made it the art of Skyward Sword and people would have bought it, but it was really cool that they added these other elements as well. So there's that first section. The second section is about the, Zelda timeline. And this has been disputed many times over the years as fans say, well, Nintendo hasn't really given us an official timeline, so this is what we think. Hey, in this book, they give you an official timeline. Here it is. Official. Personally, I don't necessarily agree with some of these choices, but there's this game, and this game, and this game, this game, and then the timeline splits into not 2, but 3 timelines, which is something that I still have trouble with. Because, for example, it says the hero is defeated. When was the hero defeated? I know in Link to the Past they talk about how the hero was defeated, whatnot, but in Ocarina of Time, technically, you always win. So we weren't defeated. Whatever. I know Zelda fans are going to freak out and tell me that I'm wrong, and they're going to write them all in the comments, and you're an idiot, whatever, but that's my opinion. And so the Zelda timeline debate lives on. So with that section, the Zelda timeline, they give you the timeline, sort of summarized, and then they break it down. And this is definitely a large section, so they're talking about in 4 Swords, what happened in that game, what didn't happen, who, the great fairies were here, all these different things, and then we say, oh, here's Ocarina of Time, and here's everything that happened there. And so they just kind of go and they tell more about important elements that were introduced in these games, what happened, history. Very, very cool stuff. So I definitely like this because I was able to read and really understand the history of Hyrule. Now, the last section, this is basically all the concept art for all the other games except Skyward Sword. It is called Creative Footprints, documenting 25 years of artwork. And so it starts from the very beginning and it shows this is what our character designs looked like. This is what our final designs. And I thought it was pretty cool. They break down some of the dungeons and maps, so you really get an in-depth look at behind the scenes of making of a video game that you wouldn't normally. Like I said, some of these are really short for example, here's Ocarina of Time. Let's flip through all the art of Ocarina of Time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages. That's it. Sad. It's just kind of a bummer that this wasn't as well documented. But 20, 30 years ago, they didn't say, hey, we should probably keep all this art because then we can put it in a book and then people are going to pay us lots of rupees for this. we're gonna have a big wallet, just a big wallet. I love this book and I read it every single night until I finished. It was fantastic. I'm really, really excited that I got it for Christmas. It's a wonderful book. Definitely give it to any Zelda fan that you know because they will see it and their eyes will get really big and they'll sort of scream and they'll get really, really excited. So if you are a Zelda fan and you were kind of doing the same thing as I was going through this book, then you gotta buy it. Everyone, if you're a Zelda fan, Nintendo fan, buy it. This is the most comprehensive compilation of Zelda artwork out there, and you need the Hyrule Historia in your collection. Just saying.